it is like trying to be more emotional. The style of filming is like it's sort of like they do a lot of slow motion close-ups. They try to capture the emotion on people's faces before someone dies. You always get like the close-up on the other character's reaction to like their loved one dying kind of thing. So the movie is like trying to be it's a fun movie, but it's also like they are trying to be very heavy, emotional, melodramatic in certain cases. Especially the ending is pretty like the whole ending's like in slow motion, it felt like so. But
Right.
so it is like so the heaviness on the first watch, like yes, but it is like I would guess on the second watch, all the slow motion and the heavy dramatic moments maybe makes it not something you'd watch like all the time.
I
So
will say, uh, at least because really with the first watch, since you got to read it, you're not really picking up on it. But there is some it could be unintentional. I don't know, but there is some kind of funny quips that the characters do say about each other, kind of behind their backs.
Well, the one guy gets called asshole a lot, so say, "Hey, asshole, get your ass over here."
Talking about the main character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they give him the starts as an asshole, kind of, but then by the end is like he has like a big character arc, I would say.
I will say for an asshole, usually these kind of characters they completely forget, their loved ones' birthdays, or just, we kind of get something like that. But instead of him forgetting his daughter's birthday, he remembers, or if he forgets that he gave her something on Children's Day, and ends up getting her the exact same thing. So. And it's not exactly it's not exactly an inexpensive gift. He got her a Wii U in the time of 2016. That would have been pretty pricey.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. Okay, well, like most zombie movies, I mean, they're not trying to reinvent the wheel in terms of story-wise. There's been an outbreak here, of course, of people being infected with the zombie thing. We get a cool thing about the deer gets hit, comes back to life. That's a cool visual at the beginning.
I definitely like the eyes of it just staring off into space.
Well, that's zombie 101. It's just some big outbreak has happened. The world is now. Some movies, I feel like this way with a quiet place. I think that's what I'm thinking of. It's like some movies we don't really see the outbreak in a way, and like we'd like to maybe see more time with just the initial like what happened, what's going on. So we don't really see much of it here, but we get the feeling that obviously through radio contact with other cities and things that shit's going down and shit's going haywire. The whole world's a mess. Let's say whatever it is.
I feel like we still are technically in the midst of the outbreak because it's still on the exact same day the outbreak is starting.
It is, yeah. It's interesting. It's just like it's kind of like it's like how much do you show because you want to focus on characters who are sort of there, it's happening, but for this situation, they have to be sort of unsuspecting at first, and then it kind of just falls into their lap that this shit's happening. So okay, now Zombie 101, so all that's pretty typical. We can talk about kind of what makes it stand out. The setting, being on a train. Being on a train is very interesting for, dealing with zombies on a train. It's a new thing. We haven't seen that. That's pretty interesting. So.
Well, I feel like we probably have because I think it's happened in World War Z. It's just the zombies overtake so fast that a train is not the most ideal place to be on when something like that happens.
See, I don't know if World War Z just wasn't that good to me, but I just don't remember it. I know I watched it, but I didn't come away feeling like it's a great. I mean, I just don't remember what happened in the movie. So, but maybe to your point, maybe it was a thing, but no, but they really. It's set on a train, and they're going to take advantage of every possible scenario on the train that can happen. So when you like establish a setting like that, it's like, okay, you better at least like really use the setting then. Don't have it as just like background, whatever. They use situationally, like having to get to one side of the train from the other is going to create some interesting dilemmas for our characters. So they make good use of the setting. When we watched the last Evil Dead movie, which we overall like. We both felt like maybe the apartment complex wasn't fully utilized to its potential as a setting. Like,
because they used a high-rise building and they never ended up either on the roof. They didn't use any other
yeah,
floors. We only saw 2 floors that whole movie: our
yeah,
main floor and our parking garage.
yeah. If you have like a one thing setting, like okay, their characters are at this house or they're on this train or on this plane, you gotta use that thing like in the story and make it make sense. Otherwise, why'd you use that setting? So this movie is like, yes, they do a good job with that. And then the zombie makeup, like the zombies do look scary as hell. Like when their face changes, I'm like, oh, the first look, I was like, whoa. I was like, I don't want these zombies coming after me, like
To
at
be
all.
fair, neither do I. If we're going to get off the setting for a quick second, I want to talk about these zombies a little bit. I've said this before with Return of the Living Dead. These are not the kind of zombies I want to mess with. Not because, they're strong or anything in particular. It's the fact that these things can apparently take an extreme beating and just
Yeah.
get right back up. In normal zombie stuff, once you hit the brain, if you hit it hard enough, zombie goes down, stays down.
Mhm.
This one, I'm pretty sure a zombie had its neck snapped and it just got right back up and attacked him again.
Yeah. These zombies, I mean, yeah, I mean, you mentioned that the Return of the Living Dead zombies were no joke. They run, they are always like in groups overpowering you and stuff.
Not only that, but they were smart. They were able to set traps. Called, granted, these don't do that. They're your more traditional horde zombies, but
Yeah.
it's more of the fact that you can't seem to kill them. Because think about how many of these zombies were hit in the head with bats, batons, Don Lee's fists,
Yeah.
and they just got right back up.
Now, did you take my takeaway was that these zombies, they don't have any extra physical strength. Their strength is whatever they were as a human. So if it's like a zombie girl, it felt like, okay, you can throw them off or throw them in the bathroom. But I
Mm,
don't I didn't get a the 100% sense of what the zombie strength level were because there are some fight scenes where it seems easier to deal with them, and there are some where, like, you just get overwhelmed and it seems like they're impossible to deal with. So, the I the best I can come up with is, like, whatever their human strength was, now that's their zombie strength too. But I don't know. Do you have a takeaway on is there any extra strength that you think they
For
have or
the
what?
for the most part, that sounds right. That they have their just normal strength. However, there's a few times when it feels like some zombies are overpowering people that they really should not have overpowered. Like and
Yeah.
during the whole breakout scene, you see. This is going to sound kind of rude, but you see some female zombies overpower just big men
Yeah.
with no issues. So there feels like there's extra power, but then you get scenes like them crossing all the 4 carts, and it
Yeah.
just feels like normal strength zombies where you can hit them down.
Yeah, that it's not necessarily inconsistency, but it's kinda like and this happens in horror movies all the time where it's like, if you're a minor character, a side character, like a nobody character, and the zombie attacks you, they just, like, overpower you and get eaten, right? But if it's, like, one of our main dudes, like, they were, like I wouldn't say they were easily handling them, like, in the cart in the whole fight scene
No,
thing, but they didn't seem like they were in trouble, though. They were just like, "Yeah, we got you." Like, throw them down, hit them down. They had baseball bats and stuff, and, like, there was things there. They had weapons,
well, they had
but
Don Lee as well.
oh, yeah, but even the other dude was like, just like, "Yep, I got it." But so it's like there was a little bit like I was kinda like, well, sometimes these zombies seem more threatening, and sometimes they do seem like they seem more rabid, more strong sometimes, and they do seem like a little bit more chill sometimes. And they do have the one weakness of like, I guess like sound makes them like they're drawn to sound. So it's like you can create a diversion where like your phone rings and they have to
So that actually is actually a fun fact is, it's not really the sound, it's the fact that the zombies can still see you, but
mm,
once it gets dark, for some reason they just lose all sense of sight. So there
okay.
still needs to be some form of light they need in order to see, and of course then you utilize the sound. It is an interesting bit because most of the time zombies are usually hearing or smell. Usually they're completely blind.
Mm.
But in this one, it's they use their sight and they show that multiple times by, you got fire extinguishers over the doors, you put newspapers over the doors, and the zombies just stop attacking. The
Yeah.
minute we go through the tunnel, even though the zombies already had their hands on the guys, they just stop.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, and we may have said, but like I said, the zombie makeup looks amazing. Like I said, when someone shifts over to zombie mode in this movie, to me they look scary as hell. But the zombies are that way, and then also the human characters, I think, are like for the most part, they're not like well, the one dude obviously is very strong, so he can physically do stuff. But the rest of them are just normal people, and they really don't have guns, so it's mostly them having to use their intelligence to like navigate, okay, how do we deal with this card? How do we do that card? So it's a little bit more interesting than like say just like if they were all given like shotguns and like, you know, all right, just a shoot 'em up thing. They have to kind of use their intelligence here. So yeah, I think this okay, so we talked about so far, I think the setting is excellent. The zombies themselves, zombie makeup is excellent. The zombie strength, like I said, maybe a little bit inconsistent, but it's hard to get that. It's hard in a normal horror movie for like the killer himself to be consistent with their strength because you'll see a thing where someone like Jason will struggle with the final girl, but then throughout the movie, within 5 seconds he's killing everybody. But then the final guy, you know, faces some stupid actor from Supernatural and then struggles to actually deal with them. I mean, so that happens with just one killer. So with like zombies, it's gonna be hard to be like, okay, each and every zombie is gonna have the exact. We're gonna make sure consistently that they have this strength level and that. So on rewatches, maybe that'll be something where you can be like, it may become more nitpicky of like, all right, what? How did this zombie do that? But this other zombie couldn't do that. So, but I guess if we keep it at that level, just like the idea of their human strength is what they have. That will keep it sort of consistent. Although, as you're saying, you're seeing like some women just be like, "Hey, I'm the girl from Scream 5. I can just overpower everybody." So,
Pretty much. But there is I think the only thing is when you go into a zombie movie, let's face it, Return of the Living Dead had it, all the Dawn of the Deads and Night of the Deads had it. You go to a zombie movie, you do expect gore.
Mhm.
This in this movie, I think spent more money on making sure the movie looked good and they got good actors for it, and of course
Yeah.
all the extras they needed for all these scenes. That they had to X-nay the gore a little bit because these felt more like zombie or vampire zombies. Like they just
Mm.
bit and latched. They never actually tore anyone apart.
I think that's part of my read on the movie is that the director, maybe the director writer, but they're going for as much as you could be more of like a classy zombie film. Like it's a zombie movie, of course, but like I said, they're adding in all the drama and like the stuff where it's like, oh well, it's a zombie movie, but this dude looks like he's trying to win an Oscar for like best dramatic performance. Like, so it's trying to be a little bit more like, I guess, classy in a way where maybe they're thinking like, yeah, now part of that is like, you're right. A lot of the kills are just like there's a gory sound effect, which is like the zombie munching on somebody is always there. So you have the sound effect, but you're right. It really is not distinguishable from vampires. It's just somebody almost like usually biting someone's neck or something, and then it's off screen. But it just maybe it was just wasn't the kind of movie where they wanted to be like, okay, now also we're gonna hit you with, your 80s slasher gore type stuff. It's gonna be like a little bit more classy left to the imagination. And that's the best I can tell. But
No,
but to be fair, if that because the budget, you're right, the budget's not huge here. So if there was a choice there, if there was a choice that you had to make, I think making the zombies look as cool as possible probably was the better way to go. Because these zombies, to me, how they look just stands out big time. And also, I mean, just also maybe just the idea of being able to have more action scenes. It has a lot of action for its budget, so maybe that was a consideration too. Like, you got to cut somewhere. So
yeah, and the action scenes are done extremely well. I don't think there's one action scene I did not care for. Like I said, you got probably my more standout one is our crew of three guys having to go through. I think it was 4 carts originally to fight through like 6, 7 zombies each cart and
yeah,
outsmart certain zombies. That was probably one of the more standout for me.
I think the whole thing where they're at the train station and they get attacked by a bunch of zombies and they have to all get on this new train now, and like in groups are kind of separated trying to get at the train pretty much. That was pretty frantic. I do like I feel like the action's always good, but the characters, some of the characters annoy me with their actions.
Like
So,
which ones?
well, I mean, there's a lot of dumb stuff going on with some of the characters, but so I mean, I know that. Okay, so part of the drama is that the human characters have to sort of turn on each other, right? They have to be like, you know, for us to survive, we gotta, they have to die, kind of thing, and that's like the moral thing that comes up here. It's also like in Dark Knight too. It's the idea of like humans will always like sort of prioritize their own survival. So it's like they're split into groups, and the idea is like, hey, maybe this group's infected, so don't let them in. I know I'm skipping ahead big time, but I all right. That was taken to such an extreme though. It's like you're barricading them out. They they break the door down pretty much, which ultimately is gonna like make things worse for you with the zombies eventually on the other side as well. I just think and it's one human being on the bad side, let's say. It's one human being that's instigating all the drama. So it's one dude convincing everybody that, hey, we can't do this, and everybody's just going along. But also it's like I I guess it makes sense, like, maybe they're infected because you definitely know what the zombies are like. So you can, like, look at the humans and be like, "Oh, well, these guys aren't zombies." But I don't know, that the whole let it keep them out, all that stuff, that
Mm,
became a little bit much for me, but I guess I understand. I mean, it was ultimately kinda pointless because the ones that were keeping them out were the ones that got eaten.
well, yeah, but I will say, I do. You bring that up, and I have to say, I can still our human villain does until the very very end. I actually understand his actions completely because he's trying to keep himself alive, and at the same time, yeah, you don't know if those people got bitten. Sure, sure. Me personally, probably bring them in. It's like, hey, we don't know what happened to y'all. Y'all going into the back, and you're staying in there away from us. In which case, the whole the zombies getting in and eating everybody would not have happened. But at the
I
same time,
I understand the human villain, but I do wanna say that I got annoyed with him just, like, always putting somebody in front of him to die so he can get away. He did it with almost all of our hero characters at the end. He basically, like, ended up killing all of them almost based on his own actions.
yeah,
He became literally, like,
the main
one of my
villain.
one of my most my most hated villains of all time because he just kept doing the same thing, like, put someone else in the way, let me get away. It's like, dude, how many extra people had to die just so you
Well, hell,
could live,
he's the
so
cause of two of our main characters. Honestly, pissed me off about it because he comes in. Obviously, in situations like this, I feel like strength in numbers would be the best thing.
mhm.
And of course, if someone's straggling, well, goodbye. But but anyway, he just grabs the girl, tosses her to a zombie.
Mhm.
In
Oh,
which case,
I can't tell you how frustrated I was. Hit Starting with him first pushing the dude out the bathroom to get killed so he can get out. But then, like, he's gonna literally, like, all our remaining other characters, he's gonna basically be all their even our main character, he's gonna be the downfall of everybody for the rest of the movie, and I'm just like, "Dude, someone just shoot this dude in the head." Like, somebody's give me a sniper, just kill this dude. I'm like, "This dude is running around causing all this stuff," and even, like I said, on the train, I'm like, "Well, he caused the whole rift on the train, and then he gets to be the one that's alive in the bathroom." I was when they first took over their cart and was eating all the people, I was like, "Yeah, that one dude, like, we gotta see him die, like, show it, show it." But then when they cut to the bathroom, he's still alive. I'm just like, "Oh, no, this idiot's still here?" I just, like,
I'm not
I haven't hated a character that much. I mean, I guess it's doing his job. He's the villain. You're supposed to hate him. But I haven't
right.
been so annoyed with one person causing, like, so many people to die just in his own self-interest. It just I just wanted him to suffer at the end. I wanted him to be tortured or something. Like, he got off easy. I don't know, like
No,
And then yeah,
well,
to your point, but the thing with those characters, one is that the girl and the guy, they didn't pay attention to like closing the cart door behind her when they first got in the cart. So they should have closed that. And then I know maybe it's his best friend or like that, but once she got bitten, I kept saying like, dude, don't put her in your lap and like just wait for her to eat you. Like you can still survive, my man. Like there's no reason for you to go down with the ship there. She's gone. Get your ass off the train. He kind of weakly just is like, okay, now I have to die too. Because I'm like, there's no way he doesn't know she's about to turn and eat him. It's just
right.
I didn't like it started to feel at the end like, oh, they have to get down to these very few final characters. So everybody else has to be like, and I had a feeling it was gonna be just the two girls at the end. I had a feeling about that. But I was like, oh, we have to find a way to kill off our other characters. And this stupid CEO villain dude is like causing all the downfalls. But there was no reason for the teen boy to die. Once he realized she was gone, grieve her, but grieve her from the outside of the train and be like, "I'll miss you," but he let himself get killed. So
So wasn't his friend? I'm pretty sure that they were lovers because she did mention that she liked him, and she even told him on the train at
oh
the beginning. It's like, "Hey, I told you I liked you. Deal with it.
oh yeah
Say
yeah
thank
yeah
you."
okay yeah
Uh,
the translation I kept reading kept saying like she would call him like a friend, but okay, maybe I missed that first part then. Okay, I gotcha. So
yeah, she. I guess they weren't official, but she said in the beginning, like, when a girl tells you she likes you, say thank you.
well, listen, if you are romantically involved and she gets killed, she doesn't want you to die with her. She wants you to
Well, yeah,
now if she could look down, she's like, "Oh, well, you really let zombie version of me kill you? Like did you think that was like some romantic thing you were doing? Like,
it's the
what
only
are you
kiss
doing?"
we got from her.
It's like, yeah, you don't want that kiss though. I
Yeah.
I just that started to feel more like, oh, it's the end of the movie. We have to start killing off all our main characters. I I
Oh,
was I was okay with the I mean, okay, we can say this. The strong dude, right?
yeah, Don Lee.
He's probably the most likable, best character in the movie. Like, if anybody could have been the main dude, it should have been him probably. Because he's really like the take charge dude who's like, I would say that the other guy, the main dude, becomes more likable as the movie goes on, I guess. But I think the movie lost something when he was no longer there either, a little bit. But I understood he had to like he had to go, but I
Well,
would have
he had
liked
to go so our main character can grow because,
oh yeah.
as
Well,
you
this is
said,
the
if he would have
this is
stayed, he would have been the main character.
this is the Quinn thing in Jaws. And you see this in so many movies. If you have like two heroes and one is like big, strong, physically equipped, and then you have the other one is like he's there forced into it pretty much. From a writing standpoint, the thing is, oh, most of the movie they're gonna be together, but we have to kill off the bigger one because the smaller one has to be the one to like overcome this. So they'll always do that. Like the bigger, stronger, whatever it is like, okay, they gotta go so that it's the Quinn thing in Jaws where it's like, okay, too easy. Quinn's alive, too easy. We gotta force him to like face the shark himself without Quinn. So it's kind of like that. Like you need this guy to like, become the dude. But the other thing with the characters is like sometimes they just to get the emotional moment, like the dude will be like, take her and run, right? And then and the girl, the apprentice girl there, and he's there. And this happens like 5 different times with different characters. To get the emotional moment, the other character has to like stay there for 2 minutes and look at them and like,
Why?
thank you. Or the pregnant girl for like 5 minutes just does she won't start moving. She's like, and the dude's like, go. And she's like, but they gotta get the slow motion like reaction. But I'm like, these characters take so long sometimes to run away. Like
But
the
that was
girls,
her husband. That was her baby.
yeah, and she put herself at a great risk. His sacrifice was gonna mean nothing if she died along with him.
I
The
will say,
other but do you
I
notice that? Did
was.
you notice that? Like it was unnaturally like when he tells the dude like go take care of her, the dude helps for another 3 minutes while he's like saying thank you or something. Like it's like such to get the emotional response. I'm like, in real life, if you took the drama out of it, it'd be like, okay, we're gone. But they just have to linger on the faces for like 5 minutes to like get the emotional thing. It's a movie thing. It's fine, makes it more dramatic. But these characters take a long time, like to get moving. Sometimes it feels
I
like.
will say the main character should have been paying more attention because when the zombie just somehow planked herself up the damn door to bite Don Lee's hand. If he would have paid attention, he would have looked down, saw that, and knocked her right back down.
Yeah.
Problem
And look,
is, with that situation, I feel like Don Lee would have been dead even if he wasn't bitten on the hand because the zombies were already starting to break through. The minute he let go of that door, they would have been on him.
yeah, he was exposing himself to too many like possible mouths that can bite him. So you have a bunch of zombie faces like poking through the door. It's like you're exposing yourself to too much there. One thing we should talk about too. So the other thing that you can talk about, okay, is there a consistency for when someone gets bitten, how long it takes them to turn into a zombie? Because that's this movie.
Very fast.
You can really pay attention to the movie because there's a lot of cases where someone gets bitten and you see how long it takes. I think they kind of play with the idea of like if the scene needs it to take longer, it takes longer. But if we need to be quick, it's quick. It's like I don't know. I don't know. There's a consistency there.
So the only consistency I see when it comes to the ones that take longer, like Don Lee's character,
Don Lee's takes a while.
Yeah, or the villain's character that seems to take just as long. It seems like the consensus is they had something, I guess they are fighting for. Don Lee is trying to protect his wife. The other guy was trying to fight to get back to his mom. I'm not saying it's going to stop the process, but maybe something that doesn't affect their brain as fast.
That feels
and even the main character, actually, he didn't turn right away either. In fact, he kept his. In fact, we see what he was thinking as he was turning.
But I feel like I don't feel like that makes sense. That feels like everybody's got something to fight for. Probably it's like everybody has a survival instinct. The girl, the teen girl that gets bit again, she like within 1 minute turns and bites the dude. Probably like within a minute almost. That was really quick.
What if she actually had no survival in her because she's like, I don't want to live in this fucking world anymore.
Yeah, that's too meta that the zombie infection is like going to the subconscious to be like, oh, this person has something to fight for. I don't buy it. I think
it makes them more headstrong or more mentally strong. Because again, the main character, we kind of see what he's going through as he's turning and then finally commits to the jump.
Yeah.
Even though I doubt that killed him because we see this movie doesn't kill zombies.
But you don't think it's literally just like, okay, if the scene calls for it, if the CEO villain, we want him to be able to like make this like a dramatic scene, then we have to let him because he has the zombie eyes already. And he's still, oh, I'm a zombie, but it's like 3-4 minutes of him like communicating as if he's still like almost like a human being.
Oh, again, so Don Lee had the zombie eyes and he was still fighting to hold back the other zombies.
When they first got on the train at the beginning, when the first stewardess, waitress, whatever it is, not waitress, stewardess, but the first train person, the first girl gets bit, right?
Yeah.
She goes to the ground and then immediately bridges up into zombie mode. I'm just saying it's I'm not saying it's
her life.
I'm not saying it's see, I don't buy that. I'm not buying that the CEO villain is like the strongest mental person to be like, yeah, I'm gonna fight off. That dude's a coward. Get out of here. I don't buy that. I don't care what he's fighting for. He's a coward. But I'm just saying that's another thing, like the thing where it's like the zombie strength, where it's like they kind of play with that in a way. I'm not saying it's a big flaw. I'm just saying that it's true. So like sometimes it's like, oh well, yeah, it's instamatic, and sometimes it's like, oh, you get 6 minutes to linger in your human state. And but I think what's the big dude's name? I don't know
his name in real life is Don Lee. I never really caught his movie name, his character's name.
I could not pick up on the character's name. So Don Lee. Okay, so his was necessarily like long because he gets bit, but then it's like, okay, we still have like 5 more minutes of drama on the train before we want him to, he has to hold the door for a certain amount of time for the rest of the stuff to be solved. So I get it there. I mean, it's okay to play with it as long as it's not like in your face, like, which it is gonna be a couple times, but not over the top. Like, oh, this dude gets to be 10 minutes human. This person gets 30 seconds. That just, if it's an infection, then it's going to be consistent. They can tell like how long before COVID, I guess, but even there's a range there. Maybe 3 days. The symptoms hit. There's a range, but it's got to
No,
be
but
super consistent. So
yeah, because technically, if our villain turned as fast as everyone else, we wouldn't have gotten the climax on that train because he would have turned while still on the ground. He'd be the one eating the train conductor when the train conductor got off and came at him.
yeah, so let's talk about the end for a second because like the dude is like the villain is he's turning to a zombie, right?
Yes,
And our main guy knows that, of course, right?
yes.
The main dude's gonna wait until the dude turns zombie and then start his fight scene. I'm like, dude, attack his ass while he's still like in human mode. Just at that point, you got to just run at him and throw him off the train. Like, I don't. I thought that was like also like he's letting the villain give a speech while he's turning to a zombie, and the main dude's just like, yeah, my strategy. I'm gonna wait till he turns to a zombie and he's gonna come attack me, and then we'll have a fight scene. I'm like, dude, run at him now and throw a punk ass off the train. So, um, yeah, but okay. Anyways, regardless of that, um, the 2 hours only started to feel a little bit long for me. Like in the last like 20 minutes, it started to feel like, oh, this is actually a very long movie. But there's always enough action to keep it entertaining. And the very end is very dramatic. The
Oh,
the
the dad dying and then the girl
the
walking through
that
the.
that kid actor does such a good job because like she's so emotional. I'm like, man, I feel like that's really her actual father leaving. Like I was like heartbroken because the kid was like a great actor. So um but showing the baby stuff, maybe that was like again, that's for a zombie film, that is going into like a little bit like kind of melodramatic a little bit, but I understand they want like the emotional. So the dude chose to like jump off the train himself.
Yes,
Like while I guess before the zombie part of it really controlled him, he was like, I have to kill myself, otherwise I'm going to
hurt
attack
my
people on the
daughter
train.
and this girl I was asked to help.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
I got a question for you. Did you? Maybe it's just me, but I could have sworn this woman was gonna like her water was gonna break like halfway through the movie, and she was gonna start giving birth.
Ah, I don't. They do play with a little bit like the idea of like, well, how much can she do while pregnant? Because she gets put through the ringer here in terms of physical activity.
Hmm.
Um, it's not to say they have certain scenes where they forget she's pregnant, but they're playing very loose with like, hey, this is a pregnant woman. She has to be careful. She has to be careful with every movement. They're playing loose with that, like, hey, that means you can dive under trains and like do all this stuff like in a panic. Like, I don't know, but
I also assumed she was gonna die.
I didn't think that.
I thought she was because
Pregnant
again
woman.
we've watched so many slashers. We've seen enough Steven Seagal movies that the minute you hear either the words wife or pregnancy, the character gonna die.
Yeah, but I know this is gonna sound strange again, but I think this movie's going for like classy sort of thing. They're not gonna kill a pregnant woman in this movie. And that would be beneath them to do that. So Jason can do that, but not zombie Godfather or whatever this is trying to be. So zombie Shawshank.
Yes. Hey,
But
even Dawn of the Dead had a zombie baby.
that's what I'm thinking in my brain. This is elevated zombie. This is like a this is an A24 zombie film at the end. I feel like this is
No,
A24
A24 would
zombie.
have messed this movie up. Uh,
Oh well, yeah, it would have definitely been 2.5 hours instead of 2 hours. Then. So
two and a
yeah,
half hours. The zombie stuff wouldn't have happened until like 30 minutes in.
it'd be
The
like
characters would not have been likable.
a lot less action too. A lot more of them talking themselves on the train. A lot less action. I feel like they did.
The final 30 minutes is going to be gory as shit, though.
The very end, the girl and the pregnant woman are walking through the tunnel. The military is anticipating who is that. Let me ask a question to you.
What's up?
So I guess the orders here, the procedure is that when we see people coming in the tunnel, we clarify what do we do, and the other person is on the other side saying, can you visibly see whatever, and they're like, no, we can't. It's like, okay, kill him. From where they're sitting, right, the tunnel, it's like everybody who comes to the tunnel, you're not going to be able to visibly see. Like everybody's a dead person. Then it's only because she's singing that they're like, oh, it must be human. But I'm like, what is this strategy where it's like, it's like you're looking into darkness, my man. You're not going to be able to see anybody who comes through if they're a zombie or not. So you're just
So,
basically saying you're going to have to kill, unless they're singing, you have to kill everybody who comes through. It's like,
so
it seems a weird strategy.
I will say, there is one thing I thought of during the scene because we already know the zombies cannot see when it gets dark.
Yeah.
So I don't think a zombie would actively start walking down a dark tunnel. I feel like if the zombie can't see down that tunnel, it's going to turn around and walk the other way.
Right.
So I feel like if anyone's walking through that tunnel, it's automatic. Well, they're in the tunnel, so they're not making erratic movements like the zombies. They're not croaking or making all these sounds like zombies. It should be like, well, yeah, they're human because they're not acting like them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The decision to kill them seemed like so like, it's like, man, like, is that what you're going by? Literally, you just can't, like, you can't put two and two together. Like, based on now from the girl standpoint, they're walking into a town that they don't really know what's going on, right? They're hoping that that's a safe haven, right? From their perspective, her singing technically would have attracted zombies to them.
Yes.
So they're not being safe either. If I'm the president, I'm like, quietly walk through the tunnel. You shut up, don't sing.
Right.
Like, so on both sides, it's kind of stupid because it's like she's like, if you're walking in a zombie nest, you're saying, "Hey, zombies, hear my song, come get me." So you think about it, it's really illogical.
But it does make a callback to what the father tells the daughter earlier in the movie. When you start something, you must finish it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this was us getting that finishing part of the song.
So they got both sides got extremely lucky. There's two likely outcomes from this scenario. One is the military people shoot them,
right?
And the other is that they actually walk into a zombie haven and they get eaten by zombies because she's calling them. So those are like the most likely outcomes. We get the happy ending outcome, which is the least likely, which is the singing alerts the military that they're not zombies and everything's okay.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I don't know about you, but when they got to the tunnel and we see the carnage that's in front of the tunnel, my first thought would not be to walk through that tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're going on, I guess the idea of the whole movie is that Busan is one of the places that's still safe, I guess. But
well, they stated at some points in the movie that Busan was still pretty much a safe haven. It wasn't affected, so the military posted up to keep the town safe. I'm guessing Busan is a pretty big town in Korea. I wouldn't know. I've never been. And my geography sucks. So,
oh yeah, well, no, I'm not going to be helpful in that either. So, for the audience, can you share with us? Does the sequel bring back the same characters, or are we like starting fresh with?
So I will say, because I looked it up just to see what the possible outcome for these two happen to be. The sequel sets up about a year or two after the events of the first movie, at least the very opening of the second one, because the second one has a time jump between opening and the events of the movie. It is theorized that because you don't hear anything about these two, that they were probably on like one of the first charter boats off of Korea, because that was the step in Peninsula, was they started getting people out of Korea to avoid the zombie infestation, because only Korea was infected.
Okay. See, I thought, well, for example, later today, I was thinking either I'll watch the sequel of that or I'll watch Jaws 2. So I was trying to think in my head, which one should I actually watch? Jaws 2 at least has returning characters, so it feels better for me to watch that while the first one's fresh in my head, whereas like the sequel, this one feels like I can watch it whenever. It's not that connected to the first movie then. So
I will say, if you do decide to watch Peninsula, again, it's on Netflix and it's actually dubbed, so you don't have to read.
Oh, okay.
And it's shit. Anyway,
Well, overall, I'm gonna say that I had a good time with this movie. I think I'll have fun on the rewatches. Um, I don't have a problem with the length of the movie. I think that, yeah, go in expecting a fun movie, but also, like I said, there is like definitely some prestige, dramatic stuff going on here, making the character sometimes like one thing I didn't mention was so the two sisters the older sisters who
Yep.
eventually cause a lot of stuff. The one older sister who is the one that first actually gets bitten, right?
Yes.
The way they filmed it, I just didn't understand. She had so much time just to come into the cart, but she's
She.
like she just stand there, shake her head like, "I'm not gonna make it." I'm like, the last 3 minutes you just been standing there, like, why? The little girl, I understand. They had a little girl like stand there for 5 minutes, like frozen, crying, and the father's just like, you can come into the safe train, but the little girl's just like, you have to come grab me physically, dad, and that's fine because little girl. But when they cut to the old woman and the sister's looking at her, and she's like, "I'm not gonna make it." I'm like, what have you been doing the last 4 minutes? They opened the train door 3 minutes ago. Why are you still in the middle between the two? So she gets killed, and I'm like, okay, that's one thing. But then I also don't necessarily buy the other sister being like, I don't like this. I don't like these people. I'm opening the door to kill us all. That was like, come
So
on.
I
That
do
doesn't. Oh
because of the
no.
fact that she probably figured, once things get even more hectic, she isn't going to be able to survive long. She's an older woman. She just lost probably the last person in her family. And then she looked over at the people who caused that sister's death and said, fuck you all, I'm killing us all.
I know the movie didn't want us to like that group of people, but that made me not like the woman. It didn't make me go against them. It made me think that that's wrong. She just decided the fate of all those people.
No,
And
it's fine.
and by the
But
way, even if you're like mad at the situation, even if you're suicidal, I don't buy anybody being like, okay, that's fine. I want zombies to eat me. Nobody's like open the door to sign up for like, oh yeah, I pushed a button, the plane thing it explodes, right? Quick death. You're like saying zombies are gonna physically eat me. I just don't see even the woman being like, oh, that sounds like an entertaining way to go. Like that sounds like one of the most painful no, what lady just
so
no.
I'll bring up something else. So
I didn't like
I
that.
don't know about you, but before we get to even that part, they're both groups are stuck in the bathrooms waiting for the next tunnel so that way they can sneak past the zombies.
Yeah.
The thing is, he mentions, oh, the next tunnel will be in 2 miles if we miss this one.
Mm,
Okay, cool. The part I get, the problem is the trains move fast. 2 miles should be maybe a minute, 2 minutes at most.
mhm.
You're telling me within the amount of this 10-minute scene, they didn't hit that tunnel until the
Yeah.
zombies start attacking that the bad group of people.
Again, there's so much slow motion. I can't tell the passage of time because like that whole thing where they're breaking down the door. I'm like, how they're filming. Like, I don't know if this is like a 10-minute thing or like a 2-minute thing because it's like so much going on and all these cut to people's faces and stuff. It's like the passage of time is actually hard to tell. Like they're playing with that. Uh, but yeah, but still overall, like I said, a very fun movie. Good zombie makeup. Pretty good Pretty good. I'm not gonna say great characters, but pretty good characters, I would say. Um, yeah. So overall, a fan for sure. And I've never been on a train, so I don't think I'm gonna get on one now either. So I'm throwing this in the thing of like cruise ship. I'm not going on a cruise ship. I'm not going on a train. I don't need to be dealing with Jason. I don't need to be dealing with these zombies. I don't need to be dealing with damn shark from Jaws. I'm good. I'm gonna walk wherever I can walk
Damn,
to.
man, what are they gonna do when they make a horror movie about cars?
Yeah. Well, Maximum Overdrive, baby. Maximum Overdrive.
I said cars, not tanker trucks.
Mm. Do you have any final
You're supposed
thoughts?
to reference Christine there, sir.
Oh, damn it. Do you have any final thoughts, sir?
My final thoughts is it mirrors yours. I like the action. I like that this movie, even though 2 hours did not feel like 2 hours, it was good. It was well paced. No scene felt rushed and no scene felt unneeded.
Mm,
Uh, there's a few gripes I would have by character decisions. I
mhm.
guess is the best way to say it, but overall, It's just one of those movies where you can sit down, have fun, pop some popcorn because it's not gory enough for you to vomit it out.
But you do have to have your reading glasses on, though, for sure. So.
Oh yeah, forgot to mention it's only in Korean. So to anyone who doesn't want to read while watching a movie, just listen to this review.
There you go. Combine us with a kill count, and you get everything you probably need to know.
Kill count still hasn't done this movie.
Oh, no,
I think he's refusing to do zombie movies for a reason.
Oh, interesting. Well, that said, until next time, you guys have a great day. All right, let me rephrase that. Until next time, you guys take care.
And as always, you don't have to go on a train, but if a random woman runs on the train and is acting weird, it's probably best to get off at the next train stop.
That's fair.